What are we going to talk about today,
We're in it now. We have jumped in the pool, and it is cold.
It is cold as shit.
I mean, you don't want to talk about relationships, and I'm fine with that.
I don't want to talk about relationships, bro.
Yet.
I'm not there yet. If I was to talk about relationships, the advice that I would give would definitely end some relationships.
Okay.
Because I'd be like, screw it, run while you can. You know, the thing about relationships, since we're not talking about relationships, and the thing about people like addicts and alcoholics like myself is that, you know, I was really kind of thinking about this yesterday, because I do this when I'm alone, all by myself. When I'm alone at home at night,
Okay.
you know, and I don't know if I'm this person or not. I've definitely been this person, and I definitely could be this person, and maybe at times I'm this person, but we push people away.
Okay. I would say that even non-addicts do that, but yeah.
Well, I think I really was wanting to know, because I do that. I self-sabotage. I sabotage I have a tendency to self-sabotage. Now, if I'm aware of it and what I'm doing, I can force myself not to do it. But if I'm left unaware, hell with it. In every relationship I've had, I've self-sabotaged. When things start getting good and I start getting comfortable and I start showing the real me, I start recoiling, like a snake. You know, I pull back. I'm like, I don't want to do that. And you're over there laughing. Got the man here has got like the greatest relationship on the planet, and he loves to push it in my face. Like, Marty, you're an F up.
It's not
you F up everything.
No. Hold on. I'll help you right
now.
now.
No, I don't want help. We're not talking about relationships.
No, we're here now. I'm going to help you just for a minute. I am the definition of self-sabotage because I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop.
For the bottom to drop out.
Well, what do you think's going to happen if that's all you're focused on?
The bottom's going to drop out.
Okay. So you create it yourself. And the difference is that when you, like Eminem did as an 8th Mile, when I give you all of me and exactly me, what most people do is they try to sell themselves. And the reality is the truth comes out. Because you can only fake it so long. Like, it eventually shows, like, makeup's got to come off, the clothes got to come off, the reality's got to hit. You're going to have a bad day. Things are going to get tough. It's why the vows are built the way they're built, is because I chose with my wife in our first date to just be like, here I am, the asshole, the guy that is almost a year sober at that moment, that is struggling with trust issues and personal issues that were not just relationship based. I have problems trusting some of my family. Like, it went deep into the core. But this is who I am. I've got trust issues. I'm going to push you away. I'm going to try to ruin this.
Well, see, that's the thing. You knew that. Most of the time.
Oh, you know it. You just don't want to admit it because it sucks. And it's very uncomfortable when you're sitting in a public restaurant with a beautiful woman saying, I am not what you want, but I want to be.
I have the natural tendency to be a piece of shit.
Okay.
You know?
You choose to be.
Well, there it is. There it is. I do have the choice today. And character defects is something we learn about. Character defects and shortcomings is a lot that what we learn about in recovery. It's chapter 6 and 7. It's the chapters that I absolutely I'm in it right now. I'm in it with my sponsee. I'm getting in. We're reading Drop the Rock. It's a book on 6 and 7 character defects, and like, that's the thing about my character defects is they're always at bay. They're always sitting there waiting. They're outside doing push-ups right now, just waiting on me to mess up, just waiting on me to make a bad choice or a bad decision or act in a bad behavior, because here they're going to pile on me, and then I'm going to act on those too. You know, to get back into the actual reason why, and this is me being vulnerable and transparent.
Let's get it.
Reason why I do that. Like, Jesus, this is going to get stupid. I hope you guys, if everybody could just get off for a little.
Already my favorite podcast.
Look, bro. I mean, I am afraid you're going to find out who I truly am. Like, because I got I got self-worth issues. I got low self-esteem. I got all these things, man. I don't really have trust issues. That's never been a problem for me, but I do have like, I like to think that who I am right now in this moment on this podcast is who I actually am. Who I portray myself on Facebook is actually who I am. Like sometimes I'll get vulnerable on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, and I'll talk about that shit. And then sometimes I won't, you know, and then I portray the good shit. But if I get too close, and I'm talking about me, but I'm also talking about other people. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys aren't like this. But I feel like when I get too close and then I figure out that, oh God, she's good. She's perfect. Everything's going well. Oh shit. She's going to find out the real me. And when I say the real me, like this natural instinct for who I am. I'm lazy. I'm slothful. I'm boastful. I'm a liar, a cheater, a thief, all these procrastinator. I'm all these things naturally that I have to fight and keep them out there.
You just have to rewire. So when
I
you
get
say
that. I knew you was
like,
going to say that.
That's the thing is like we all just try to use excuses for our past, and I get it. I understand it. I'm the excuse master. My mom used to tell me I could argue with a fence post and win. Right? Because my mom was like at 6 years old, she's like, you need to be a lawyer because I swear I can't win anything with you.
Have you thought about that?
Because I could literally find a valid excuse for anything make you feel sorry for me, and I can manipulate you and twist you around. I can do what I want. Like, I'm a Gemini. I'm good with my words. I've got charisma. Like, I know these things about myself.
So instead of becoming a lawyer, you became a drug addict.
Right. So, but here's the thing, is the reason that happened is because I was too afraid of being me.
Yeah.
And once I just said, here I am, it's not who I want to be. Now, who you want to be and who you are are two different things, and there's an evolution to it. So I gave her who I am and who I want to be and who I am still. And even in that moment, what I told her at the end, and I get choked up every time.
Yeah, here he is, man.
Is I will love you more than anybody ever could. Period. Through all of that, there's a good and the bad to me. There's the bad of the 5 things, but the good is going to outweigh them if you will let me walk through this process. Not to fix me. It is not my wife's job to fix me. I've never asked her to fix me. It's no one's job to fix me. But if you will allow me to get where I want to be, I'm going to tell you who I really am. And it was the most freeing experience of my life.
I guarantee you right now, any woman that's out here, they're all like, I hate his wife. This is the dream guy. Like, that's what all women want. A man to buy them tacos, touch their butt, and love them as deeply as you love your wife.
But it's just like, I think everybody, women and men, so women, this goes for you too. If you're a cheater, try to find out why you're a cheater first, because I believe that has a deeper core to it. And I believe that's based on fear, and that's also based on like self-awareness of like how you actually value yourself. You're like, I'm going to cheat on you before you do it to me, or I'm going to cheat on you because I don't know if I really deserve you, or I'm going to cheat on you because it's always because. It doesn't have to happen. And so what I gave my wife was the truth. It's like, my love comes with condition. Don't screw the neighbor or anybody else. Don't lie to me.
Is the neighbor hot?
And don't steal from me. No.
Is the neighbor some 50-year-old balding guy?
He's definitely.
He made
Chris,
sure.
I'm sorry, bro, but he's you at like 65. And when he hears this, dude, I'm sorry, but it's
dude. Chris, listen. He literally, before he bought his house, he went over and met the neighbors. I guarantee it.
100%. So it's just a choice, and I'm like, I got into this space where it's like, who I am is who I am, and I don't mean relationships just in love. With my friends, same thing. If I can do something for you, and when I say I'm willing to do something for you, it means I'm willing to do something for you and expect zero in return. Which means if I'm in the mood to feel selfish, I'd rather just tell you no, because if I'm going to keep score, I shouldn't be doing it.
Well, I think a lot of people fail, including myself, is like, I didn't feel like I kept score in any of my relationships until shit got heavy. Mm-hmm. Until well, you know, what I needed to justify me acting like an asshole.
Then the referee suit comes out, and the clipboard comes out, and you're like, remember that one time?
Yeah, remember this, you remember that, and you're talking, I did, okay, but you do it, you know, remember, and that's how the fights always go for me, man. Like, I just so you guys know, I am in counseling, I am in therapy, I work a 12-step program, I have a sponsor, I have a sponsee, I go to meetings, you know, but that's the thing about in character defects. I'm gonna keep going back to that.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna keep going back to that because
own it.
Those, if it wasn't for character defects and my shortcomings, like I would never have any problems in life. But they keep, you know, it says in our literature, it's not a matter of if they come back, it's a matter of when. Am I prepared? Am I surrounded with the right people? Am I becoming aware of them? Am I big enough, strong enough to own up to those character defects? Mm-hmm. And intentionally, with intention, change them, you know, which is where, you know, I always seem to fall short, man.
So I had a really tough marriage my second go around. By the way, this is my third time's a charm. My wife is...
What's the name of the show anyway?
Amazing. Right? The name of this show?
Yeah, well...
This is the Talk Hard Podcast. We're not a media channel yet. We're going to get there.
Talk Hard Radio.
Follow this. We'll get there. This is the Talk Hard Podcast, and welcome to it. Thank you guys for watching, listening, subscribing, whether you're doing it on one or the other. We'd love to get your feedback. You can email us, fans@talkhardfans.com. I want to hear everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's how I live my life. Like, I can take it.
Also, if you're on YouTube, man, you guys can comment down below. Let us know what you think. Cuss us out. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I want to take ownership that I have got a bad habit of cursing. I'm not going to give any excuses. Just is what it is. I call it passionate, but after watching one of the podcasts, I was like, "Dang, dude!
Second episode,
you need to quit your job and go drive a truck." Like
sailor,
stop what you're doing.
Talking like a sailor.
Yeah, it was bad. But back to the relationship side of thing is like my second go around was really bad, and I was trying to do the right thing. So I found the best marriage counselor I could find, therapist, and it was like twice a week, costed me stupid amounts of money, and you cannot put a price on trying to save a marriage. So I dove deep, right? But when you dive into therapy, you both got to show up. And what I learned from my therapist was, as soon as you start keeping score, you have now turned this into a competition. And in a competition, there's a winner and a loser. So somebody is walking away unhappy, no matter what. So you've got to stop keeping score. You have to fight for each other, not at each other. It's not about what you did and what you didn't do and what you could have done and yada, yada, yada. Okay, I accept it. I'm sorry. Move on. And it's tough. Don't get me wrong. I'm still to this day horrible at it because me and my wife do fight and we get into it. And I'm like, I need a second. And I'll go in the other room because I used to leave the house.
They call that a timeout.
Right. I used to leave the house and that would bother her. And I really had to dig deep because I want to get way out of the situation before I say something stupid because then you can't take it back. Which is always
my problem. And in my last relationship, I always said,
I'll go in the other room and I'm immediately like, you better come in here. Right? Like I'm keeping score. I remember how many times I came in there for you. I remember how many times I chased you.
You better chase me.
That's my instant reaction. That I'm like, knock it off, dude. You're creating a competition. Just, you asked for the space and now you want her to come in here? Like, what?
I think that's it. You know, and if I could constantly remind myself, like, Marty, do you want to be right? Or do you want to be happy? Because I have this tendency to always need to be right. Mm-hmm. And not only do I need to be right, I need to let you know that I'm right. And if somebody's in the room, they got to know that I'm right. And if I'm right, that makes you wrong. And therefore, I'm superior. Right. You know, which is, again, character defects resurfacing. Like, that's not who I am. I don't care. Like, I don't. Like in my everyday actions, like I've developed great habits of just listening to people. And if somebody says something out of pocket to me, I have a pretty good habit now of just being like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Right.
You know, it's okay that you feel that way. I don't give a shit if you feel that way. And that's the thing with life is like, I am powerless. Hashtag powerless. I'm powerless over how you think about me, how you feel about me, how you talked about me. Like, I can't control that, but yet part of my defect is I want to control it. I want you to like me. Yep. I want you to know that I'm smart and better and superior to you.
Yep.
and that doesn't work in a relationship, and it didn't work in mine. So
it doesn't work in friendships, relationships.
too,
It doesn't work with coworkers. Like, this goes much deeper than just a marriage. But when you can carry those attributes somewhere else, you stop making things about a competition. You stop trying to be right. That's not the point, right? Like, we need to find a common space to exist. That's just the bottom line. Your feelings are valid. You're allowed to feel however you want to feel, but stop saying I made you feel a certain way. You're allowing me to make you feel a certain way.
Don't you hate that?
Like, you're allowing it, and I get that part, but I don't actually have the power to do that. So there's all these communication barriers that typically break down when a fight starts. It's somebody didn't understand something, or they took something the wrong way, and then now we're fighting. And if you stood up there, before God, or before however you do it, for me it's God, and said, I'm going to love you till the day I die, and it did come with stipulations. I wasn't lying about that.
I like when people say unconditional love. I think that's such bullshit. Like, there are conditions on it.
Yeah, you're setting unrealistic expectations.
Unconditional love. I'm sorry, but if you hit me with a 2x4 and you run me over with your car, I'm not going to love you anymore. Right. I'm just not, I'm out, Right.
I'm not Jesus. Well, Jesus loves unconditionally. I am not him. I think I can walk on water, but I'm not willing to try.
So I think forgiveness is key in these things. Like, it's key. And well, first off, if you're in a relationship, or you're getting in a relationship, or you're noticing some relationship stuff happening with whoever you're dating, like, I think it's key to not do it if you do not thoroughly love yourself. And because you cannot love another human being unless you love yourself. If you're loving somebody and you don't love yourself, and you got all these things going on in your world, you're not happy, you're not joyful, you don't have passion, you don't have a purpose in your life, you don't have anything in your life, and you're just striving to find somebody to make you feel better. That's a toxic relationship, and it's going to end toxically, because nobody's ever going to be able, you said it a second ago, it's not your wife's job to fix you. But yet so many people want relationships so that they can be whole, and you watch them all the time on Facebook, these guys that have 5 relationships a year, I can't, found their true love 5 times in 1 year, you know what I mean? And I'm just, you sit back and you're like, damn, you look stupid. Can't wait to see how this ends.
But this is what we do, right? I'm going to say guys, because I did it. I don't know. I think girls are guilty of this, but I don't want to go down that road because I'm not one. Or I haven't identified as one yet.
Disclaimer.
But here's the reality. Like, I used to be Captain Save-A-Ho, right? Like, I'm going to go find the most broken woman in my love.
Because you were broke.
Right? Like, but my love can fix her, because I know I don't cheat.
I love hard, right?
Like, I've never cheated. I'm not a cheater. That's not the road I go down. That's not the path that I live in. This is just not how things exist for me. So that's just where I'm at. And
so just because you're not a cheater, the rest of you is good to go too, right?
No. But like, yeah, right? It was like, right? That's it. That's all a woman really needs. Like, screw all the rest of this. My love is enough. Love is not enough. And if you act like love is enough, you are out of your mind. You are literally out of your mind. It takes a lot more than love. It takes understanding. It takes compassion. It takes the ability to lower your ego for a second. And stop acting like you know everything about everything. If you knew it, we wouldn't be arguing about it. So stop acting like you may understand it. You don't know it. There's a drastic difference between the two.
Yeah. Well, all this stuff is number one through 15 a reason why my marriage failed. And it had nothing to do with her. It was all me. You know what I mean? And that's why I didn't want to talk about relationships on this show. Who wants to sit here and say, like, the last relationship you was in, last marriage you was in, like, it was all your fault that it's over, not nobody. And here's the other thing too, is like forgiveness. And I say that because I easily forgive other people. I have so much struggles, even today, 7 years clean and sober, with forgiveness of myself. And that's baggage that I carried on into my relationship. And if I can't forgive myself, then that's going to carry, that carries a mountain of different character defects that's going to pop up. If you're not happy with yourself, because you can't forgive yourself, if you're not in love with yourself because you can't forgive yourself for whatever you did in active addiction and after addiction and before addiction, all these different things that you're supposed to work out and that I try to work out and I still work out with my therapist, with my sponsor, but still, you know.
But see, I'm gonna jump in there and challenge something.
Here we go. We're going back to mindset. I
love that yeah.
Okay.
But the reality of it is, there's two people in a relationship. So to sit there and say it was all my fault just isn't true. It isn't. It was either she ignored the signs, or we got into it way too fast so that I wasn't able to see the signs. But no matter what, if you rush things or ignore the signs, you take part in it. So I'm not saying it's all her fault. I'm not saying it's all your fault. That's not the point. Again, now we're keeping score. You both had something to do with it. That's the reality of it. And you both need to just own that. And I'm not meaning just you. I'm saying everybody. You need to own your space and stop being like, I did everything right. I tried to act like that forever with my exes. Like, well, I didn't do anything wrong, so I'm just going to keep being me. And all it built was resentment. And all I did was keep score. And then when I got into a new relationship, now it's all about like what I deserve. And here I go.
Well, here's the other side of that quarter, though, is that if something is my fault, if anything is my fault, then I have the ability to fix it. If it's someone else's fault, I can't do nothing about it.
No, you can take your ownership, but you said it's all my fault.
I know.
That's not true.
I know what I said. I know what I said. They know what I said. Everybody knows what I said, Brian.
That's all I'm saying.
All I said when I started this show, Chris, is I didn't want to talk about relationships, bro. Like that was my one thing I didn't want to talk about.
Oh, I'm good at
and
this.
And there's Brian,
That's all I'm going to say is I'm good
guru of relationships. Like we're going to talk about relationships.
Hold on. I'm the farthest thing from a guru. What I am is somebody
you got a great marriage. You got a happy marriage.
I have a genuine desire to be a better human. And when you do that, the byproduct is you inspire your partner. And when that happens, the byproduct of that is a better marriage. It's not great. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but we have plenty of things we work through, but we push each other in an uncomfortable way.
But that's just like in life. When times are hard, when I struggle, when I fail, that's when I grow. So if we can take that into your relationship, those are the good things.
Right.
When you guys struggle, I guarantee you, I don't know this to be a fact, Brian, but I guarantee you when you guys have an argument, I bet something great comes at the end of it.
We definitely give it our best shot. And most of the time, yes. There are times when the fights are just dumb. It just is what it is. We don't even know what we're fighting about 20 minutes into it. And then we're like, what are we doing? You know, sometimes it's just a breakdown in communication that has no real answer, and we just accept it. We apologize to each other. We move on with the night. But we made promises to each other. We're not going to bed angry.
That's a good one.
Don't go to bed angry. It ain't worth it, because if you have a stroke in the middle of the night or a tornado picks you up, the last thing that one of you are going to leave with is anger. And the reason I stopped leaving the house was, one, she made the request, and I need to honor her request because it's not all about me. Two, if I left that house and got in an accident, and I left her with that,
destroy her.
Like, she didn't do anything to deserve that.
Yeah.
Nobody does. So why risk it when you can just, like, I'm only leaving the situation because I'm too afraid to dive in deeper, because it's very uncomfortable in that moment. I'm getting all in my feelings, and I need a minute to breathe. But I can do that in another room. I don't need to puff up, and I did it for a long time. Don't get me wrong. The first probably couple years, it was, I'm getting in the car, I'm going to drive off all fast, and you're going to know how mad I am. And what did it do? Just made it worse.
And you had to buy new tires every 6 months.
It doesn't do anything, though. Like, I came back to the same situation, except I wasted some gas and probably some rubber. You guys are getting into your feelings right now. Good.
Welcome to Talk Hard Podcast.
Good, because you need to be aware of your space and what you want out of life. What you want and who you are always going to be two different things, and you need to accept who you are and keep going to who you want to be. I am still not who I want to be. I will technically never be, because I'm going to die trying to be a better man. Period.
You could take that you could take that aspect, and this is something I'm very good at doing in business, and with my personal life. I'm horrible at doing this in relationships, but never settle. And what I mean by that is never be content with what you have. Be content to the fact that you have joy in your life, and that you enjoy the striving for the next day, and that you enjoy the grind that you have to put in the next day, and like, do that. But never be complacent and content. We talk about this with mindset, right? We get into this with like people who have, God love you if you're the type of person who makes $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $28,000 a year, and you're at your son's ball games every day, every week, and you're home for dinner and you cook dinner with your wife. God love you for that. But for me, like I'm all in business. I'm not I wish I could. Maybe one other day I will. But since we're talking about relationships. I don't want to talk about them, so try to change the subject.
We're still never down the same road.
Never settle though, right? Yeah. Like this is what we do in business, and entrepreneurs do, and people who just want to become a better human being and want, not that you have to. I think the difference is having joy in the striving. Having joy in the daily grind, falling in love with the process and not necessarily getting to that, falling in love with the journey. Mm-hmm. And if you can't fall in love with the journey of what it takes to get to where you want to be and what you want to have and the type of life you want to live, then you will never get there. And if you do get there, so if you're in a sea of years of discontent of where you are, and you're in a discontent of the journey it takes because you want to get to that end game, like I feel like you're going to die at a very young age from stress, from heart failure, whatever it may be. I think the goal for all of us and for everybody who listens is like fall in love with this process. Whatever, if you're in college, if you're in school, if you're in a relationship, if you're trying to start a company, whatever it may be, fall in love with what it takes, and then you are going to be hugely successful.
I'm so glad you said that, and I love, man.
Here we go.
My life is amazing. I got to tell you this because I live in this space in my head where I feel like I just manifest things. And it's funny because I was actually looking something up on the phone. There is a drastic difference between being in love with the idea of something and being in love with something.
There it is. I like that. Yep.
So you can think you're in love with someone because after 2 months, I can't stop thinking about her. Okay, you
back to
shouldn't
relationships.
stop thinking.
Here we go.
Yeah, we're sticking to the subject because when you say, be in love and love the process and not settle, that goes for relationships. Okay. People get comfortable. Well, I'm going to settle for her because that's all I could get. Bullshit.
Or I'm going to settle for the type of relationship that we have instead of striving to make it better.
Bullshit.
Right?
If you want it to be just that and you think it's going to last,
it won't last like that, right?
No, I see these people that are like, well, I'm not getting sex at home and I'm not getting this and I'm not. Does your partner have an actual clue that that's how you feel? Or are you just bottling this up because you're just settling for where you're at and you don't want to have this very uncomfortable conversation that is going to require a lot of growth and is going to require humility. You to dig deep and be humble and accept the results of whatever they say and let's talk about it. Because when it comes to me and my wife, I just there are times when we're both non-confrontational, but I'm willing to get into a little bit more than she is, where I'm just like, just give it to me and trust that it'll be okay. Like you need to speak your mind.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Well, in the beginning, it was like, well, then I just know I need to do this better. And I'm like, no, stop that. I want who you really are, not who you think you might try to be, because if that's not sustainable, you may get there, but let's not act like tomorrow it's going to change. Like I'm never going to do it again. So when she's like, well, you do the dishes every day. And I'm like, I'll try. Chances are no.
All right.
Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I will give it my best shot, and I will always try to do that for you because I'm aware of it, but don't expect it tomorrow. I'm going to mess this up 100 more times before I figure it out. I'm aware of it. I make a strive towards it, but I'm not going to act like it's going to get fixed tomorrow.
Can you put that in any type of habit that you're trying to form or that you're trying to break? Because there's a lot of habits that hurt people. Right? Mm-hmm. And people do them subconsciously, arbitrarily, and...
Such as what? Give me an example of that. Go ahead. Let's talk about it. We're here now.
No, I don't want to talk about it. But, I mean, just fill in the blank, whatever you want to fill. You viewers out there, I'm sure you got something in your head, something that you're doing to your partner that you continue to do, but you're trying not to do it. And it's a habit, and it's a bad habit. It's a good, and you're trying to stop it, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I hate you right now.
I know.
He's giving me that look,
This
guys.
is awesome. I love
He's
this
giving
stuff.
me that
I
look.
really do. Go ahead.
No, but like I think that's the same with doing the dishes. Like you want to do the dishes every day, but it's kind of unrealistic at first. It's something that you could strive for.
Okay.
And you're going to fail at it.
Yep.
And you're going to try to do better the next day.
Yep.
And it's just like with anything else. Like, and I think that's where, some habits are so ingrained that they're hard to break.
Okay.
And they're hard to form new habits if you've never done that habit.
Right.
And some days you're really strong and you're on your game and you come home from work, it's the first thing you do is do those dishes.
Yep.
And then some days you're not on your game. You had a bad day, you had a rough day, you had this, you had that, you forgot it, slipped your mind. You might have just said, F it. I don't want to do the damn dishes.
Yep.
I'm tired.
So your question is?
Nope. My question is nope.
So my answer to that then would be
I knew he was gonna go.
when it comes to forming a new habit, you both have to own where the space really is. Truth. Like, let's just be honest about it. Am I doing this because I just want you to shut up? That's not sustainable.
Okay.
Chances are it's not going to change.
Okay.
There's not I don't really care if you shut up. Like, honestly, this is the way I'm wired and I'm going to own it. And so I may give it a shot, but when you say you're going to fix it and you don't own up to the truth about whether or not you genuinely want to, now you've set the wrong expectation for your partner because you said it. And when you say it, now we're going to get into, well, you lied to me. You said you were going to do this and you didn't.
Yeah.
Let's just own it. There are certain things when it comes to me and my wife where I'm like, no, like, I'm sorry. This is just who I am. And it's not because I'm trying to like puff up and act. It's just the truth.
Well, okay. So in that instance, when you say this is just who you are, you could say, no, I'm not going to do that, which would not give her resentments when you did it later on.
Right.
You can say, you know what I mean? And I think there's some aspects where everybody's just like, okay, I see your point.
Yep.
I see how it makes you feel.
Yep.
I'm going to change it.
Right.
But then you don't. Because you wasn't sold on the idea, or it's just something that's ingrained in you that you're trying, you know what I mean? You're like, I don't know.
We talk about this. You got to check your intentions at the door with everything in life. Is like, if I am doing this for the wrong reason, it's not sustainable. It's not going to happen. I don't have enough inspiration.
Got to fall in love with the process.
Right. So if I'm doing this because I genuinely understand your place and I want to make it better, then I'm going to tell you up front, I don't know how long this is going to take.
Wow.
I will do my best, and when I am failing, you have every right to call me out on it, and I can't get mad about it because I have said I'm going to try.
There you go.
So now you can't get mad about it, right?
Damn, he's good.
Like, that's just the truth. You got to live in this uncomfortable space with each other where you've got to put the egos down, lead with your heart, and find out why you're doing this. Accept failure as it comes, but know why you're doing it. So this is what most people do. They have this aha moment. They go right from the what I'm going to do to how I'm going to do it, and they forget the why.
See, I think that's key.
The why is the key.
Yeah.
Well, all three are a key altogether, but most people don't check the why with business, with relationship. It doesn't matter.
Well,
they go straight from the what to the how.
Well, if we're talking about like a bad habit, like you have to understand why you do it, or you will never change it.
And then why do you want to change it? Is it enough to make you genuinely want to change it? You're like, nah, I'm pretty cool with who this is.
Well, even if it is enough, like I get it. Like, okay, this is a bad habit, but why do I do it? When did I start doing it? You know?
No, there's a difference between like if a wife goes to her husband, she's like, you're working too much. And then he wants to come up with these excuses that's, well, we need the money and we need this. And she's like, then let's sell the house. I don't need to live like this.
I don't need all that
like
stuff.
Now you're putting a monetary compensation on my heart. Nope, not going to work. Let's go down to a cardboard box. I'm good with that. And if you're not willing to come down to that level, good luck. That's just the truth. So you can accept the reality on both sides of the fence and either compromise with each other or you're screwed no matter what.
Yeah.
You got to check your why. Period. All the time with everything. And there is never an excuse to not. You made a vow. You made a promise. You gave your word. And for me, when I give my word, if I ain't got that, which is the only thing I can control, then what good am I? That is the one. Communication and your word are the only things that you can control. I say I'm going to do it. Damn it, I'm going to do it. And if I said it and I didn't mean it, well, shit, that's my problem. Mm-hmm. Now I need to do it because I've said it. And now I can't be resentful to you and keep score because you made me do it. You didn't make me do anything. You asked me to. I accepted it. Now it's ownership.
So the key there is saying you're going to do it, maybe throwing some conditions on it, though.
Absolutely. Like, just be honest about it.
I'm going to do this because I know how it makes you feel, or in either way, good or bad. I'm going to do these things, but it's going to take some time for me to get into this. And I might need some help. Fail.
And that's okay. Like, I need to be okay with failing at it, and you need to be okay with calling me out, and I need to be okay with you calling me out. Because sometimes, like you said, we're unaware. Mm-hmm. So when you are willing to accept that, well, hey, I don't really like this about me either, so I'm willing to change this. Why? Because I want to do this for me. A byproduct of that is automatically going to make you happy because that's what you want, but I'm doing it for me, not for you. Yeah. I can't do everything for you. Not everything is about you. In her world or in his world, everything needs to be about them, and in the middle, you guys need to exist. Like, I want my wife to do a million things, but she doesn't want to do them, and I don't mean, like, the dishes or stuff. I mean, like, I want her to chase more of her business dreams, and I want her to chase more of other things because she's built some amazing things that she did as like a single mother. And I'm like so inspired by her life and what she did and how she didn't end up some basket case somehow. Like when I heard her story, I was like, how are you normal? Like,
I met your wife and normal. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, what I mean by that is like the world hit me in a different way where drugs became my thing and like all these excuses, and I became the excuse bandit because when I was little, I used to be able to give my mom a bunch of excuses. Now I'm going to argue with myself all the damn time, and I'm going to give myself a million reasons why it's okay to just be the shitty person that I am. Mm-hmm. And it's never okay. Mm-hmm. And if you said something to me once, and I called you out on it, and I'm going to call you out on it right now. You said, no. Maybe I just suck at relationships. And I said, maybe you just choose to suck at relationships.
I hate you, Brian.
Because we make a choice. If you don't want to suck at relationships, then don't suck at relationships. There is no, maybe I just do. That's not true.
That's a cop-out, right?
That's just you putting an excuse on your current situation.
All right.
So, where are you going to grow from that?
So what are we going to talk about in this show? Because I'm sweating.
This is awesome. Hold on. I want to see how long we've been going at this.
I'm sweating right now. How's TikTok doing?
We got 5 viewers.
5 viewers. What's up, TikTok?
Everybody that's left is in a good relationship, and thank you very much. I love all of you. You're like, I get it. Yeah, preach on, brother. The rest of you were like, gotta go.
F that.
This is probably hard for people to hear.
Well, it's... I think a lot of people need. I needed this conversation, but I'm ready to move on. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Well, we can stop this one and go into another podcast because I wanted to try a shorter podcast anyways, and we're 37 minutes into it, so I wanted to test the water. So let's just shut this one off. We'll start a new one.
So, if you guys have any advice for me in relationships and future relationships, or if you want to tell him to F off like I do, please put them down in the comments below. Tell us how you do in your relationship. Tell us about communication. Tell us about all the stuff that he just spoke about, because I didn't hear none of it. I'm just kidding. Let us know in the comments below, guys, please.